not they had a girlfriend, a wife, or a romantic partner. They were defined by what they accomplished, by what they stood for, by what they gave to the world. Their impact was not measured by the relationships they had, but by the purpose that burned within them. They were driven by something greater than personal happiness. They were driven by. He does not seek validation from the world. He does not measure his worth by the number of people who love him. He knows that his life is meant for something greater. He knows that he was not placed on this earth simply to be in a relationship, but to fulfill a mission, to make an impact, to leave a legacy. A man who chases purpose over validation is a man who cannot be broken. He does not crumble under loneliness because he knows he is never truly alone. He does not seek love out of desperation to do when he is left with nothing but himself. And in that space, he must decide who he is. Without the influence of a relationship, without the expectations of others shaping his identity, he has the rare opportunity to strip away everything false and come face to face with his true self. This is where faith is tested. When a man is alone, he can no longer rely on the comfort of another person's presence to keep him stable. He must turn to something deeper, something eternal. He must find his grounding in faith, in a belief that he is not truly alone, that there is a faith is not something that grows in comfort. It is not something that develops when everything is going well, when a man is surrounded by love and companionship. Faith is built in the moments when he has nothing else to rely on, when he must stand alone and trust that there is something greater holding him up. Faith is what carries a man through the seasons of solitude. He should not rush to fill the space with meaningless distraction. Instead, he should embrace it, use it, cherish it. Because in that solitude, he will find something far greater than he ever imagined. He will find himself. Love should never be a search. These millions of people come together expecting the other to fix them. The relationship becomes a cycle of neediness, dependency, and eventual disappointment. But when two whole people come together, when two individuals who are already fulfilling lives on the real love is not about rushing, it is about alignment. Think of a strong tree standing alone in the middle of a vast field. It does not need another tree beside it to survive because he chooses them. He does not cling to them out of fear of being alone. He walks beside them in strength, knowing that their love is not a crutch but a shared journey. A man who knows he is whole is not threatened by solitude. He does not seek singleness as a new strength, a new purpose that you never loneliness. There is a presence greater than any human embrace. Before we step forward into these truths together, before we uncover the strength, the purpose, and the redemption that can be found in a life walked alone, let us open our hearts to the message ahead. Loneliness is not a curse, it is a season. There are times in life when the silence becomes deafening. The absence of another voice in the house, the stillness of a room once filled with laughter, or the echoes of imagined conversations that never came to be. These are the moments that make solitude feel like a heavy bind and made ready. Consider this. When the great men of faith, wisdom, and purpose were called into their greatest moments, they were first led into the wilderness. They were pulled away from the noise of the world, away from the distractions, away from the comforts of companionship, and into the solitude where their souls could be strengthened. The wilderness is not a place of abandonment for the next season of your life. This is not the end. This is only a season, and seasons always change. You were created for a purpose, and no absence of a partner can take that away. From the moment you took your first breath, purpose was placed within you. You were not an accident, not a mistake, not some wandering soul without meaning. The very existence of your life is proof that there's something you were meant to do, something only you can accomplish, something that no absence of companionship can begin living the life you were meant to live. You do not need to put your destiny on hold simply because the seat next to you is empty. Think of the great men throughout history. Men who stood alone, who walked their paths without the hand of a lover in theirs. Did their solitude make them weak? Did their singleness strip them of purpose? No. It refined them. It gave them the freedom to chase their callings without distraction, to dedicate their lives to something greater, to forge a legacy that was not dependent on whether or not they had someone to share it with. Perhaps your purpose is found in the very place where you feel most alone. Perhaps others to know his worth. A man who does not seek strength in numbers but finds it in his own perseverance. Society does not always recognize this kind of strength because it is quiet. It does not demand attention. It does not boast. But it is unshakable. It is the kind of strength that endures the storms of life and stands firm when others would have fallen apart. Some of the greatest men who ever lived walked alone. They did not have the comfort of a wife to encourage them, the love of a family to keep them going. Yet
Two is when we're seeing disjointed numbers all the time. If you're seeing 1, 3, 7 or 2, 5, 8, I think that is what is to pay attention to. Not so much 11, 11, 12, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pay attention when the numbers are disjointed. That means you're out of alignment.
Wow. Beautiful. Looks like we got some people in here that are actually in the classes already. Love the Avatar class. That one was really good.
Thank you, Kelly.
The classes are fantastic. Highly recommend RJ and what he brings to the world.
Thank you.
LH is in both classes. The classes. Sacred 6. There you go. The Sacred 6 p.m. telemarketer dinner time call. Now, how long do you call telemarketers for, RJ?
Until I'm satisfied.
Okay. And that varies depending upon.
Yeah, exactly. Depends how much I was harassed during that week. So I want that scale kind of balanced out.
Maybe we can talk about this, RJ. Amina says, love the homework. It's kicking my butt. Why is homework so important? Like, why can't we just, watching these videos, why can't we just absorb it ourselves? You know, just go watch.
Yeah, right. So that's part of, as we know, right, those are the classes and the courses and what I talk about. Mental understanding is useless. Our conscious mind is not aware of the subconscious programs that are running, which really is our politics, this and that. Most of us are aware, we weren't already, most of us are aware that all of it is a lie. The same thing in terms of manifestation. Absolutely everything that you've been told is a lie. And if it's not an outright lie, it only has a kernel of truth. And that's it. And all the keys to the kingdom are missing. And so I don't know how else to say this. That's why I'm here now. That's why I'm incarnated right now, to be an embodiment and provide the solution, not just information.
Perfect. Okay. At least we have telemarketers. They never lie. I'm just kidding.
Politicians never lie. Celebrities never. Okay, I'll stop.
The healthcare system.
Yeah, it's all true. All of it. All of it's true. You can bank on it. Banks. They don't.
Yeah. Hey, if it isn't true, they'll release it in 70 years, like JFK probably. And then we'll know something. Or maybe we won't still know anything. Rua says class 2 is so intense and successful in bringing home how important the will is, no matter how many we play.
Yeah, so, Rua, thanks for saying that. And let me just talk about that for a second. If we kind of look at what most people probably have been using, whether it's the law of attraction or Neville Goddard or whatever it is, or your favorite spiritual manifesting or teacher, coach, podcaster, how come the will is never talked about? How come no one talks about will ever come across? And all of that false light teaching is done by design.
Cool. I love this comment right here. Take your power back and take the classes. Because, I mean, otherwise, I don't know. Where else are you going to get this kind of stuff? So glad that I invested in the whole month of classes. Yep. They're really good.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you.
Yeah. Look, these classes have changed my outlook on life.
Yeah. I think I've said this before, and I think for a lot of people, they probably assume that, okay, I'm sure the classes are good or whatever. Right? This is unlike anything. I don't know how else to be more precise about that. Other people tell you there is nothing like what it is that we discuss and experience in these classes. Absolutely nothing like it. And because of that, it works. It actually works. A different understanding, different actions, you get different results. There's nothing like these classes and courses. And it's an honor to be an embodiment of this and then share that with everyone because people's lives change as soon as they actually put in the work.
Absolutely. I can vouch for the homework. Okay. I just want to make sure we hit every. You guys got some really good comments in there. Yeah, look, the first three classes have completely shifted my perspective and filled in every intentional gap of the spiritual community. Feed
Feed us, probably feed us. Unless Jennifer's operating on a whole nother level and she really doesn't mean feed us. But we get your drift. I appreciate it. Wanting in quotes, right? So that's something that we talk about. And Justin, you don't manifest based upon what you want. You can put there, I stopped wanting and started embodying his teachings. See, this is part of what I mean about wanting. It's part of those 7 words that we talked about in the first class that you have to remove. Once you remove those 7 words, it changes everything, and that's why she put wanting in quotes. And there's the proof. This is only in a couple of weeks. This is only in a couple of weeks because this is the solution on how to do this. This is actually how you do it. So I'm very happy to hear that. And she's gonna have to let us know what is her dream car. She didn't say what the car is though.
One of the best things that happens as a result of taking RJ's manifestation courses is the wanting goes away. It's like, it's very freeing once that happens because when you've been in a state of wanting for so long, it's very disempowering. She also continues, thank you, and it's not just money or materialism like RJ says. I've got a complete different outlook on life, a whole new perspective on everything. Even small things in my life are just aligned thanks to deprogramming.
Well done. Well done. That's music to my ears. Jay, you're like me. I like to drive fast.
Audi RS6 is my favorite. We like it. Mini Cooper. Anything with gull-wing doors. Rolls Royce. That's a classic choice.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. 992 Turbo S, another Porsche. Dream car, Porsche 911. I'm seeing a theme here. Jeep electric cars faster than the gas sports cars.
Yeah. It's like an iPhone with wheels. I'll take the real sports cars. No, not on it. I mean, it's just subjective. I like the Porsches and the Ferraris and the Rover and the craftsmanship, the engineering. I mean, you feel it when you sit down. You absolutely how it responds to everything. It's incredible.
Question: is it too late to sign up for the course? It is not. And there are 2 courses that you can currently sign up for.
Yeah.
The one that's happening this Sunday is the Sacred Geometry of Money Live Q&A with RJ, and the other one is the Mechanics of Money. So, highly recommend just taking both of them because they're incredible. Okay. People are saying Merkava as a vehicle, and then other people are asking how fast is the Merkava.
You talk about the Merkava. There should be no effort. I shouldn't be invested energetically, monetarily, in any way. Do it for me, right? I'm not going to invest in myself, and that is the mindset right there, right there, and that is the spiritual love light, namaste, false light teachings. It should be free. I don't have to do anything. Everything will just come to me. Let me put this as eloquently as I can. Bullshit. I actually understand how it works, and the same thing will happen for you if you actually invest in yourself and do the work. The same thing will happen.
Jennifer says, my neighbor won the coverall at bingo. It felt like my own victory.
Jennifer's in on some of the things I've been saying. Well done, Jennifer. We talked about sharing in other people's successes and how that will change your life. Just that. So if we can actually be genuinely happy for other people's successes as if we are a part of that right now. So when she took the course, she said that she was broke. Didn't have money, couldn't afford the tuition to get in. There's no way. She's very upset. So she actually got 3 different people to pay for her, so she could actually take the course. And at the time that she started taking it, she was below poverty level. When she started taking the class, she was below poverty level. Before the class was over, I think it was week 6, she said she was on track to make over $100,000. So she found a way to make it happen. Where there's a will,
with your own career. Caleb is 32. You know what I mean? He needs to make his fights now. So I don't know. I think that would be a great fight, and it is the biggest fight right now. But I mean, in a division, because Morrell and Benavidez left, but for whatever reason, we can't get it. So I really don't know what's going on. But I think it's more something that somebody would have to ask Team Charlo, not Caleb, because Caleb is down to fight. I know that for a fact. Like, before I even trained, Earl would beat him at his best, because I just thought he was a bad style for Thurman, who moves a lot. Earl was a serious pressure technician when he was right. But Earl's been off a while, so I can't really say. I don't really know. To be totally honest, it's hard to say. But there's certain kind of fighters that's more affected by layoffs than others. So I would have to see how Earl looked, see how he was coming through camp before I could say. Because 738, like the Crawfords and Usyks, the norm is you start slipping in your mid 30s. And I'm not saying Earl is slipping or not. I'm just saying that, like, sometimes it's not just an intricate reason. Sometimes it's just age. Sometimes it's just life. Sometimes it's just, you know what I mean? Like, just the natural course of events. Like,
you can't expect them to perform in their 20s.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, when I
as ever. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was high level shit, but that's from actual boxing pugilists that know what you're looking at, know what's going on, know what they're doing, and you're like, oh, look at this motherfucker. You actually know what you're looking at, and you know the skills that you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? But for like your casual fan, Garcia Haney, that shit was entertaining for everybody. That shit was entertaining for your grandmama, your mama, your sister. I mean, I'm gonna stand firm on what I said the first time. They talk all that shit about, here you go, when they come to, I come with the hate. Here I come with the hate, aka facts. when they offered my son to fight on November the 8th, when the fight 9th, November the 9th, when the fight couldn't have been made anyway, according to Darren.
not something that I find pleasure in, because you never, by the end of the interview, you don't know who the athlete is.
I think when you, whatever you take, it's always on you. If you trust the wrong person, that's also your judgment call. And especially when you don't research or just neglect or don't want to know about the history.
Here in Hawaii with the Sean Ray Hawaiian Classic. So the change I'm talking about in the sport was coming from a pure athletic position. And a lot of it had to do with the prize money. A lot of it had to do with the posing, which is why I created the Best Poser Award of $10,000, which Logan Franklin won in the Classic Physique, which Derek Lunsford won at the Arnold Classic. Again, that's not what we're seeing on that stage. So Arnold has a valid point. Professional bodybuilding it's still a work in progress when it comes to the routines. Arnold is one of the few that gives away that $10,000 Best Poser Award. Again, it is an award that can be won by the guy that takes last in that show. So all you bodybuilders out there complaining about not getting prize money, that award is there at certain shows.